deadly.
Yes, it is.
In the Bible, if you had mildew, you couldn't live there. If you had mildew in your clothes, they had to be burned.
The same thing now. If you have mildew in your home, they have to come in and cover your house. Have you ever seen those houses covered?
Yes, I thought that was for termites.
That can be for termites. It can also be for mold.
Okay.
Milk.
Okay. Let's see. Number 14. Do you sweep, mop, dust, and vacuum regularly? If you say no, put a red check mark. Do you have any tattoos or piercings on your body? If you say yes, put a red check mark. Were you aware that if you get a tattoo, you can't give blood for 1 whole year? Red Cross will not allow you to donate blood for 1 year. And 80%, I read this many years ago, I'm sure that number has increased. 80% of those who get tattoos wind up with hepatitis C. Do you know why? It's not because of the needle. They changed the needle. It's a lot of turn. It's the ink. The ink. The blood backs up in the ink.
And that's why Deuteronomy tells us not to do it.
Yes, and it regurgitates. The ink regurgitates. And so if somebody has hepatitis or AIDS and they're getting a tattoo, that blood, because when they're the blood goes back. But it can be just a little drop. And then it's in the gun.
Hole piercing.
Yes, hole piercings as well.
Ear piercing is what he's saying.
Well, still put a red check mark because you have damaged your body and consequences do follow. But if you live up all to the light that you have now and you're learning, God can reverse the damage that you've done. Because the cells in our body, brain cells, heart cells, we can get a brand new heart. Did you guys know that?
Oh, yeah,
yes. The cells regenerate.
Yeah.
Science is finding this out too. Before they used to say when your brain cells died, that was it. They're finding that they regenerate. I think it's 6 months for the brain. Okay? Number 16. Do you have any silver fillings in your teeth? If you say yes, put a red check mark. Do you have any gold teeth? If you say yes, put a red check mark. Some people say gold. I thought gold was good. They mix stuff in that. And the silver, what do the silver fillings have?
Mercury.
They have mercury. Do you know the prophet of the Lord? And I will get these quotes. She tells us we are to remove the mercury from our body. So if you have silver fillings, what should we do? We should have it removed. And they have new stuff that they use now in the place that doesn't have the mercury in it. Number 17. Now this is going to be touchy for some people. Do you own any pets? If yes, put a red check mark. Should our animals be in our house?
No.
Now, the Lord just gave, I have a dog. The Lord just gave me this the other day. Are we supposed to be touching unclean animals?
No.
What are cats and dogs?
Unclean animals.
But what do we do to them?
You pick them up and you
We're not
lick
supposed
you
to
and all
touch
that.
unclean animals. I saw a video on YouTube. This lady had a pet. She let it kiss her in the face and hug and pet it. She came up with a brain tumor.
It was a worm.
When the doctors went to surgery, a worm popped out.
Right.
It was a worm and they said it was from her pet.
From the pet.
We really shouldn't be having unclean pets.
Yes.
The Lord just convicted me of that the other day. If I can't have rabbit fur gloves, okay, well, what am I doing when I'm doing this to my dog? Now that's very touchy for some people.
A lot of people.
That's between you and God. But we're talking health. And having pets is causing allergies and causing problems. So that's just something to think about.
And they say you really shouldn't have them if you have little children.
Yes. Do you have pets? If you say yes, put a red check mark. Do you touch your pets? If you say yes, put a red check mark. Do they sleep, walk, sit in your home? If you say yes, put a red check mark. Okay. So that was for cleanliness. Now we're going on to service for others. Yes?
How about if you have birds?
Depends on what kind of bird it is. But are you touching the bird? Okay. There's a, you know, if you're not touching them and your windows are open all the time and you're cleaning their cage every day. Okay. Service for others. In Isaiah 58 verses 6 through 11, we are told the following. Isaiah 58, 6 through 11. Is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke? And by the way, she said this chapter is the true medical missionary work. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house? When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh? Then shalt thy light break forth as the morning, and thine health shall spring forth speedily. And you can keep reading to verses 11. When we do this, I hear people, this is lingering. This is lingering. Have you helped the needy? Go find the needy. If it's summertime, go bring them water. Go bring them fruit. If it's wintertime, bring them gloves, socks, a hat. You go to the 99-cent store if you don't have a lot of money. You can get one of those little 99-cent bags, put a toothbrush, toothpaste, a pack of socks, a pack of gloves. Even for the women, they got the cute scarves and the hats. A set for 99 cents in the 99-cent store. We're really without excuses. We really are. So part of our ministry is to help others. So we're going to be covering service for others. And in Testimonies Volume 6, pages 289 to 290, and Medical Ministry, page 263, paragraph 2, she tells us that service to others is part of the medical missionary work. It's part of the loss of health, is what she says. Okay, question number 1. Do you help undo others' heavy burdens? If you say no, put a red check mark. And I mean, what I'm going to be reading, we should be doing at least one of these things every day. Do you help the oppressed? If you say no, put a red check mark. And this is in the last 30 days, at least every day doing something for someone. Do you help the afflicted, including those who are sick? And it says how. How are you doing that? You could write that for yourself. Number 4, do you invite the maimed, blind, homeless, fatherless, or widows to your home for the holiday dinners or special occasions? Why am I reading this? Doesn't Jesus say that? He says when we have a feast, don't call your friends and family. He said go get the lame and the blind. If you don't do that, put a red check mark. Do you feed the hungry on a regular basis? And if so, how often? If not, put a red check mark. If you haven't done the last 30 days, put a red check mark. Or let's say the last week, because we should be doing this regularly. Do you give to others who ask you when in need? If you say no, put a red check mark. Do you help provide clothing and shoes to the, and I don't mean just here in our ministry at church. I mean when you're out. See, because sometimes we'll say, well, I do it here at church. No, what about when you're at home? And what do you do for your neighbors? And when you're at a gas station and someone comes up to you and says they're hungry. Or you know somebody where you live in your neighborhood and their children are barefoot because they don't have any shoes. Do you help them? Because do you know we're counseled to do that? Yes. Do you help provide clothing and shoes to those less fortunate when you have the ability to do so? If you put no, put a red check mark. Do you provide a place to live in your home if you are able to those who are less fortunate and to those who live with non-believing family members or friends? If you said no, put a red check mark. Let me tell you a story of Sister White. There was an old lady in Sister White's day. She said this old lady died because of the conditions she had to live in. Sister White talks about our members living with family members who are not of our faith and they've got to listen to their music, whatever it is that they do. That's stressful to a believing Seventh-day Adventist. Then we've got Seventh-day Adventists who got big homes, 5, 6, 7 bedrooms, and they don't invite anybody to their home. We're not supposed to do that.
We're not.
And if you have extra rooms and you know you have members who are struggling and living with family members, you're going to be held accountable. We're supposed to open our homes to others who have no place to stay.
That's right. We don't do that anymore.
No, but we should.
We're supposed to.
And if I owned where I live, because I used to let everybody stay at my house, friends, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal.
Right.
And I had a girl who lived across the street from me. They shut off her water. I let her come use my stove. I let her use my shower. Somebody in my area told my landlord, and my landlord said I had to stop because he pays the water and stuff like that.
Right.
So I had to stop.
Right.
But I still helped her where I could.
Right.
If I owned it, I'd have 50 people living with me if I could. That's why we really should be in our own places.
Right.
Or renting from our people who know our principles. So if you have 20 people living there, they're not going to care.
Right.
But we really need to be more loving to each other
Yes, we do.
and help each other. Number 9, do you go door to door during the week looking for those who may need help in your neighborhood? Do you know we are counseled that we are to go in our neighborhoods where we live and go door to door and introduce ourselves and offer Bible studies to the people? If we're not doing that, she says we're not doing what God told us to do. Number 10, do you do any type of community service in your neighborhood? I'm trying to teach my children. We do this once a week. It's called community service in our neighborhood, just like I put. We'll go and pick up the trash all along the street on our block. We'll go rake somebody's lawn. We'll say, do you mind if we rake the leaves? And they're like, oh, how much do I have? No, we don't want any money. And then I tell them, if you want to give him a few dollars because he's helping, you know, my boys or something, that's fine, but we're not asking, doing it for money. I'm trying to teach my boys, when you see an old person in a wheelchair or a person in a wheelchair, push that wheelchair for them. If you see a lady walking to her car and she has groceries, help her with the groceries. I'm trying to teach them. We should teach our men, our boys, to be men for Christ.
Exactly.
And to be, I mean, they say chivalry is dead. We should revive chivalry. Okay. Number 10, do you do any type, oh, I already said that. If you said no to door-to-door, put a red check mark. If you said no to community service, put a red check mark. And I put here mow lawn, rake leaves, clean their house, take to the doctor's office, run errands, etc. Put a red check mark. One of the above should be done at least once a day. Something that I mentioned should be done at least once a day. You don't have to do it all because we're busy too. You know, we have things, family. A few more necessary questions. Circle all that apply. These are other parts of the laws of health, but not so much detail. When you sing, do you sing from your vocal cords or do you sing from your abdominal muscles? If you say vocal cords, put a red check mark. Number 2, when speaking, do you use your vocal cords straining from here or are you using your abdominal muscles? If you say mostly from here, put a red check mark. Number 3, when lifting any items, do you bend over or do you squat?
Squat.
If you bend over at all in the last 30 days, put a red check mark. Number 4, are you long-winded? Do you speak for a long time without taking that deep breath? If you say yes, put a red check mark because we're talking, you know, you can get cancer in the throat. Did you know that? And Sister White talks about voice culture.
Oh, yes.
When our children are little, they should learn voice culture. They should learn how to enunciate, pronunciate. They should be able to project very audibly. So I'm standing here, everyone in the back should be able to hear me, even without a mic.
That's right.
And I think we should get out of this habit. We're doing it for the camera. But we should speak so loudly and clearly that if there was way in the back, they could hear us.
Jesus.
William Miller spoke audibly.
Yes.
Yes.
Jesus did too.
Yes, Jesus did too, and thousands of people were there.
That's right.
Amen. Number 5, do you give presentations for more than 1 hour? Sometimes we go over the hour. We're counseled, we really should not go more than an hour. She said if we could do less, that would be better. Number 6, if you said yes, put a red check mark. Number 6, do you slouch when standing? Children like to do this a lot. Or walk like this. When standing or sitting, you should be like this at all times. If you said yes to the slouching, put a red check mark. Now, We've just gone through it's a lot. We've covered a lot.